The hosts feel it would be a little unkind to present this podcast without just a word of friendly warning. We are about to unfold the story of Frankenstein, a man of science who sought to create a man after his own image without reckoning upon God. It is one of the strangest tales ever told. It deals with the two great mysteries of creation, life and death. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now's your chance to. Well, we've warned you. Hello and welcome once again to the Frankencast. I'm the mad scientist Anthony Bowman. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm joined as always by
the amazingly multi-purpose steak/club, now rolled all into one. That is Eric Velazquez. My pronouns are also he, him.
So this week we are talking about Santo and Blue Demon versus the monsters.
Santo y Blue Demon contra los monstruos.
Which is the first in the series we're talking about, but is not even remotely close to the first one.
No, obviously not. We'll get there, but this is clearly a sequel to something.
Yeah. But so as I was sitting down to watch this, it's like I was getting ready to press play and I was suddenly like, we kind of committed to doing 3 of these without having seen any of them.
Oh no!
I hope these are better than the Italian Reanimator. I'm very glad we're gonna do 3 of these. I was really, really enjoying this.
Anthony, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
All right. So we know you like monsters. Do you like wrestling and monsters? Because have I got a movie for you, baby?
And so, like, as I was watching it, I was trying to, like, nail down what the tone, like, to compare it to something that more people might have seen. And it's because it's funny and it's a little campy, but it's also, like, dead serious at the same time.
Yeah.
But, like, it's not taking itself too seriously. It's really, the closest thing I could think of was, like, maybe, like, the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Because it's like, they're playing everything straightforward, but also there's definitely tongue-in-cheek action going on here. Like, it's letting the story be funny and letting the characters be serious in the story. And it just really, really worked for me.
Yeah, so do you remember Frankenstein versus Baragon?
Yeah.
Like, this could easily be the twin to that movie if it didn't have War of the Gargantuas. Like,
I can see that.
They definitely share a same vein and even random song and dance numbers.
Yeah.
I guess that was the thing in the 60s, so yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like, even, so it starts out and you sort of get introduced to the characters with, like, title cards, but it's just like, you see them in the woods and it's just like, Santo shows up on screen and it says, Santo, the man in the silver mask, mm-hmm. And then there's Blue Demon, and then you get all the monsters, and the monsters here, like, any kind of, like, universal monster rally, they're just blowing it out of the water with this.
Yeah.
So we've got the Mummy.
La Momia.
A Cyclops.
It is Cyclops.
The Cyclops seems, I mean, it is a Cyclops, it's a one-eyed thing, but it also kind of felt like it was maybe nodding to, like, Creature from the Black Lagoon-ish, like it was sort of the aquatic thing in this.
I feel like that's definitely what they were going for, because there is an underwater scene with this creature. But, man, like, this is the most Power Rangers looking monster out of all of them.
Oh, for sure.
But let's not forget Frankenstein.
Yes.
So, by the way, I love that he has the Chicano goatee. How good is that?
I was getting ready to say the same thing.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. And then you got the Wolfman, which is just basically a very hairy man.
Yeah. I mean,
with some fangs.
To be fair, it is kind of a straight-haired throwback to Lon Chaney's Wolfman.
Oh yeah.
And then we have El Vampiro, who is not Dracula.
Yeah, even though he's very Dracula.
I mean, let's say he is a Dracula, right?
And
but we're only introduced to one La Mujer Vampiro, one vampire woman.
Yeah,
But
even
they're
though
two.
we will, we'll see two eventually. Yeah, and so then, of course, because this is a movie about luchadors, we open on a tag match going on, like a wrestling match in a wrestling ring.
Can we take one step back though, real quick? I do want to mention this. So you know how we talked about the intro is basically them coming out of the woods with a little bit of the smoke drifting by as they're introduced. Mm-hmm. Get ready, because you're going to see that 2 more times. And I'm not saying like it's a very similar shot. They reuse the same shot 2 more times for each and every character.
It's kind of like that same thing we talked about before with like the like Predator and Chopping Mall, where they use the stills from the movie as credits, but again like put at the begining this time.
No, these are actual whole shots though that are actually in the movie.
Yeah.
2 more times. Yeah. But yeah, we got a lucha libre match.
Yeah, and so the first one is a women's match. Santo's watching.
Yep.
And we just watch the match. Like, it has no bearing on the story after this. It's just you want to see a wrestling match? Hell yeah, let's do it. And you just watch it, and it's great. And then in the second match, we're introduced to Blue Demon
and Juan Garza, who him and the heels of the match for wrestling terms. They basically, I think they do show up, but they're never mentioned after this match.
Yeah.
There's Ebano the Giant and El Arabe.
It ends up it's a wrestling match, so it bounces back and forth as to who it appears is going to win, but in the end, the faces win. Blue Demon is victorious. Then we just cut to a cemetery, so we're getting into the monster part of the story now.
Yeah, we get a nice brown hearse that pulls up.
Yeah. And there's a casket that's carried out, and it's put into a crypt, and there's a man and a woman kind of standing over to the side watching. Right. We'll ultimately find out that they are the brother and niece of the deceased here.
Right, Dr. Bruno Hulder. And by the way, the man who's watching at this time, his name is Otto. And then we have Hetty Blue, who plays Gloria.
Did they ever call him Otto in the movie? Because I never caught his name, and I just kept writing brother, and then I finally got to the credits, and I was like, okay, Otto. I have to go back and write that in my notes so I'll remember that.
Yep. Nope, that's exactly what I did. I called him Good Holder. I guess we're kind of giving away the farm. But also, that casket is the lightest casket in history. Because one guy just single-handed lifts it up, and the guy on the one end is literally holding the whole casket's weight. And it's like, okay, this is just, obviously it's a prop casket. You can't use a real one. But it's like, come on, guys. Keep it even. Don't let one guy hold the whole thing.
Yeah, it's like painted styrofoam or balsa wood or something, and there's definitely no one in there.
Right, yeah.
So then we do see from the shadows, there are these green-faced men kind of watching as well. I guess they're zombies. We end up finding out they are revived dead people.
Yeah, they used to be criminals, but we'll get into that later.
And there's also just a little person with them who seems to be kind of the boss of the zombies.
Waldo's amazing. I love Waldo. Yeah. He has the for his stature, he has some of the most gravitas of anyone in this movie.
Yeah. We also do kind of cut to an inside the coffin shot where we see the man in there, and then we immediately cut to that same face on a newspaper with the headline, "Famous Scientist Dead."
Right.
And, the aforementioned Otto is reading that paper, and it's Otto and his daughter. Basically, the dead brother, Bruno, brought people back from the dead. He was kind of a bad guy, but, they're kind of relieved that he's dead, maybe. It's not, explicitly stated yet that they're, excited that he's gone, but they don't...
It sounds like Santo and the Blue Demon took care of him in the previous movie that we didn't watch yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of I even tried to look just to see is the previous one kind of Frankensteinish too? Did we miss one? But it doesn't seem like it from what I can tell. Nope. He did the zombie kind of thing, and then Frankenstein shows up here.
Yeah. Well, it turns out this guy, Bruno Halder, did a lot of brain transplants. That's how he brought people back to life. That's somehow how he resuscitated them by transplanting their brains.
So then we go back to the graveyard, and we've got the zombies carrying the body, led by Waldo. So, clearly there's a plan in place for if Bruno happens to die, that's not the end of Bruno. He's got...
Yeah, he had a plan B.
Yeah. So then we cut to Santo, and he is reading the exact same paper, probably literally the exact same prop, knowing they made one copy and passed it around.
Yeah.
But so he's discussing with Blue Demon. He's kind of worried about Gloria. He's dating Gloria, and they're just kind of worried that with everything going on with Bruno, hopefully he's really taken care of. He's not going to show up again. I got to protect Gloria.
Well, Blue Demon says, hey, don't worry about this. You know why? Because you need to go on vacation, because I'm going on vacation right now. As he brings in his suitcase.
And if you're not familiar with lucha culture, they never take their masks off. That's the thing is it's a great shame to lose your mask. It's in matches and stuff. Sometimes people lose their. But so if you're not watching this, keep in mind that you have these two guys and they are either in suits or just jeans and t-shirts, but they're wearing their lucha masks the whole movie.
Yeah. You can't let anyone see your face.
Yeah. But there's just something the suit and tie with the lucha
casual,
mask.
How casual.
It's such a good look.
Yeah. Yeah, it actually is. I mean, it would be duplicated in, what is it? The Extreme Ghostbusters, I think, and a couple other cartoons where you have, I think even Mighty Max has a luchador in a suit with the mask on, obviously giving it a throwback to Santo.
And it's really not too far off from if you've been watching Moon Knight, he has his kind of old style cloak costume, but then he also has a face mask that's very similar to a lucha mask and an all white suit.
Yeah, Mr. Knight.
Yeah, it's a sharp look.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I wish we could pull it off and just everyday living,
Man, if only for COVID, if we'd gone with lucha masks instead of the bottom half of the face.
We missed our chance. Oh, well, who knows? We might get another shot. Anyway, turns out, though, as Blue Demon is going on vacation, he runs across a group of green-faced individuals on a wagon in the middle of the day holding torches.
And he's just driving a sports car.
Yeah. It's a really nice car. I wish I knew what type it was.
Yeah. He sees them from the road, and then we cut to them getting to the castle, the zombies and Waldo, and they're trying to revive Bruno, obviously. And the lab here, it's different than what we've seen in Frankenstein. I mean, it's electrical science gear, but it's more
This is kind of a mid-modern mad scientist get up. We got the egg-shaped panels and...
Oh yeah, everything's very rounded, and then that the sort of hair dryer helmet kind of things that go on the head to revive people with.
Hey, there's a science wheel. It's a very fancy looking science wheel, and you only see it in the background, but it's there.
Yeah.
You didn't.
And you know what else is in the background is just this weird little alien.
Great alien guy, yes!
What the hell is up with that guy?
No speaking lines, no interaction, just there, just chilling with his big, massive head with the top being I don't even know, styrofoam brains on top.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely another little person in a suit, but the head is massive. And the brain is exposed on the top. It's
a great alien.
For a while, I thought it was just a statue or something, but
Nope.
because it doesn't move for a while, and then finally it does move, and you're oh no, there's just a guy there.
Yeah. But let's talk about the true style that's in this scene at this point. We've got Waldo, who is in this all black. What would you even call it? Not a onesie, but almost like a morph suit without the mask.
Yeah.
And he's clearly got I'm guessing a styrofoam ball on his back because he's supposed to have a hump, but it looks just hey, I've got a ball or some spherical shaped object in the back of my suit.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's only here for this one and maybe one other scene, and then he's just wearing a suit. He basically looks like is it Top Hat? Is that his name from the James Bond movies? I'm gonna have to look that up now. Odd Job. Odd Job is the name.
Okay,
It looks like Odd Job from James Bond. We're going to cut that. All right, anyway.
Yeah, so then, like, as they're doing all the reviving stuff, Bruno wakes up, he thanks Waldo for being a loyal assistant, and we find out that Waldo really wants to experiment on living subjects.
Yeah, he's tired of these dead people. He's got to have something fresh.
Yeah.
Well, luckily, Blue Demon is there to provide.
Yeah.
Because he is snuck in at this point. He's in
He's just, like, watching from around a corner. So it's a castle on the outside, but inside it's basically just like caves. Like it's just like caverns, different tunnels and stuff, but it's like rounded walls, it's not like, it doesn't look man-made. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he's just like peeking around like down a corridor, and one of the zombies kind of sneaks up behind him, and they have a fight, and then Blue Demon is captured and brought into sort of the central room where Bruno and everyone is.
But what takes out Blue Demon is the thing that takes out most of anything that gets taken out in this movie, and that's a damn wooden club. That is the most powerful weapon in this movie.
It's probably like a wrestling kind of weapon, like we can hit you and like make it look painful when it's not, or what,
Yeah, exactly.
But this is where we find out for sure that Bruno's like, we meet again. You and Santo destroyed my life, so now we know that we are definitely watching a sequel, mm-hmm. and now Waldo's very excited because he wants to experiment on living subjects, and one was just delivered at his his doorstep. Mm-hmm. So of course the zombies kind of strap Blue Demon down to like a gurney,
and of course Waldo comes in with the syringe, but Bruno's like, whoa, you're getting a little ahead of yourself. That would be too quick. That euthanization, we don't do that here. We go a little bit above and beyond. Let's get this man to the duplication chamber. We're going to duplicate him and have him fight Santo.
Which, this is one of those things where, like, I think this kind of happens sometimes in a lot of sci-fi stuff where it's like, you have one plot that you want to achieve, mm-hmm. and then you'll just kind of add things as necessary to get you where you need to go. But if he has a duplication chamber, he should have a whole different set of plans. Like, this duplication chamber has you set up for some really interesting ways to take over the world or do whatever kind of evil things you want to do.
So we're just going to duplicate all the zombies just multiple times.
Or like kidnap the president or whatever. But instead we're just going to make a copy of Blue Demon and we're just going to send him out to fuck with Santo.
Right. But only one copy though, not multiple.
Yeah,
just one.
And they don't even really like. As soon as they did that, I was like, okay, they're gonna do the thing where like Blue Demon's evil, but he pretends to be good, and he's gonna like slowly kind of worm his way into Santo's life.
We ain't got time for that bullshit.
No.
By the way, that's the theme of this movie. Like, there are times when it's like, okay, you could have cut out like those extra fight scenes, but I guess wrestling. But it ain't got no time for subtlety.
Yeah,
we're just going into it.
Yeah. So they create this copy of Blue Demon, and Bruno's like, I want revenge on Santo and my brother and Gloria.
Yeah. So he's going to send out Blue Demon to get Santo. Luckily, Santo just hopped in his nice silver Santo-mobile, and he runs into, well, the monsters, including the evil Blue Demon, try to run into him.
So they, like, turn down, like, a little road in the woods, basically, and then, that's where evil Blue Demon appears, and, like, instantly, Santo and Blue Demon are fighting, like, immediately. Mm-hmm. There's no kind of pretense. He's not like, oh, hey, friend,
Yeah, he jumps out in front of the car, stops it, and is like, let's do this!
Yeah. And while they're fighting, some of the zombies kidnap Gloria, mm-hmm. and they're dragging her away, and then two of the zombies end up helping Blue Demon, and they take out Santo, and they throw him. At first it looks like it's like a cliff, but it's really just more of like a steep hill.
Yeah.
So he just kind of rolls down the hill, and then like stops. Like, he gets close to what I think might actually be a cliff, but like he stops himself, runs back to the car, and begins to chase after Blue Demon and company. So then we get like a car chase,
of course,
that is
a
varying speed. It's I wouldn't call it a high speed chase.
Yeah, there are speeds, and I think some of them may have happened at high speed, but none of it all happened together in high speed.
Right.
It's definitely a composite shot multiple times over.
And so in the middle of the chase, there's a part where Gloria jumps out of the evil car into the Santo mobile.
Yeah. By the way, I love that the monsters basically allow that to happen. Like,
there's no resistance at all. Like, she just like awkwardly hops out. And also, I'm pretty sure the cars are at a dead stop when she does this.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, come on. You're not like, at least they took care of at least they were safe about it, right?
Yeah.
But no, no
better than just making some random actress like jump out of a car at like 30 miles an hour or something.
But with some of the movies we've seen, I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah, for real.
But it turns out we have a little bit of a car crash now as Santo runs off the monster mobile. And it, of course, goes tumbling down the hill as you would expect it to do. Bursts into flames, once again, as you would expect it to do in all these movies. But the Blue Demon on fire... By the way, he's actually doing a fire stunt. You see the flames on his back, gets out, and just, like, runs off.
Yeah.
We don't see the other monsters, so I'm like, oh, they killed the zombies, right? Nope,
yeah.
I was wrong, because apparently they also somehow ran off, too. Or maybe they were duplicated and we just never seen it.
Yeah, so from there we cut to they've pulled out Bruno's coffin and see that it's empty, and you've got Santo and Otto and Gloria, and so they're like, uh-oh, it looks like Bruno's back. Mm-hmm. Santo's obviously also very confused that Blue Demon has, like, betrayed him.
It was his best friend, right?
Yeah, they've been partners forever, so he's very surprised.
But of course, Otto says, well... You must have done something to provoke him. Like, this, you all had a rivalry, right? And Santa's like, well, no, that's us keeping kayfabe, my dude. You know? Which
is an interesting layer to introduce to these movies, to be like, yeah, we're rivals in the ring, but we're friends in real life, right. in quote-unquote real life, where we fight zombies and undead.
And mad scientists multiple times.
But yeah, so then we cut back to the castle area or whatever, or it's another cavern anyway. I don't know if it's supposed to be in the same place or a different. It's probably the exact same location, just being redressed or whatever.
Yeah. It's definitely a set, obviously, like with styrofoam walls. But I'm kind of amazed. Like, we don't actually see, I'll spoiler alert, by the way. We don't actually see anything that would tell you it's a castle other than the facade. Everything else is underground. It's all caves from here on out. It's like they built a castle around the caves.
Yeah. But yeah, so we get Blue Demon and the zombies. They approach a coffin and they're like starting to open it. But then, like, up on the wall, there is a bat that then, like, turns into a vampire.
That is the wildest, most frightening-looking bat puppet I think I've ever seen. Like, and not in the way you would expect, though.
Yeah, it's really strange. And, like, we do eventually get some of, our beloved Flappy Bat kind of scenes. But here, not so much. It's really just kind of, like, posing up against a wall, not really moving at all.
Right.
And then just kind of does, like, a morph to the man with his cape out, mimicking the wings and stuff.
El Vampiro, yeah.
And so he just kind of, like, jumps down from the ceiling and attacks one of the zombies and, like, sucks his blood and then, like, goes to attack another one. And then Blue Demon takes control of the vampire with this...
handy-dandy monster-controlling ring.
It's this huge ring that's flashing and making this horrible squealing sound.
By the way, I do love that the vampire basically always has his hands spread wide, and he's in that like horse riding stance.
Yeah,
like he's running through this movie in that stance with his arms like spread wide. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, there's basically like the two iconic vampire poses. Mm-hmm. One is the arms outstretched, and one is the arm covering the lower half of your face with the cape thing. But this guy just doubles down on the arms outstretched pose and just rides it through the whole movie.
This vampire ain't got time for mystery. He's here for one thing, and that's sucking blood, baby.
So Blue Demon gets control of him, and then we cut back to Santo and Otto, and this is where we get a bunch of exposition that we find out that the Halder family are from Transylvania, and Bruno was always fascinated by superstitions, even though he was a scientist.
So he decided to marry the two of science and superstition and learn how to bring people back from the dead by switching their brains.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we get like a sort of a montage where we see them sort of rounding up all of the different monsters.
Yeah.
So like I think we've got Waldo and Blue Demon and some zombies, and they're at like an Egyptian temple or a museum or something, and they find a mummy.
Yeah. The only thing I can tell you is there's a lot of skeletons, a lot of skulls, and other mummies that aren't this particular mummy that they find in the casket.
Mm-hmm. And this mummy is just like an old man with like a couple bandages around.
Yeah, I mean, not even like the Karloff mummy. It's just a dude in some bandages.
Yeah.
And then we have Halder blowtorching I thought it was a stone wall. Turns out I'm guessing ice, because that's where the Cyclops was hidden behind.
Yeah.
By the way, we're going to get to something that kind of irks me, but at this point, we can agree the Cyclops is moving around pretty good on his own volition, because he tries to attack Halder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I just wanted to verify that before we go any further. Okay, anyway. Then, of course, we get El Lobo Hombre, the werewolf, or wolfman. And, so he's kind of just chilling.
Yeah. Yeah, and you just see him and Frankenstein with his goatee, and the mummy and the vampire and the Cyclops, and they're all in the revival chambers. Yeah. Sorry, my neighbor is mowing the grass so loud. So
we'll work on it. But yeah, so apparently at this point, they then revive all the monsters. Once again, the Cyclops has already been revived, but they revive him. Maybe he needs to be charged. Don't know.
Yeah. And yeah, so then we get Bruno getting to yell like he says they're alive, because it's not just it's alive, because we got like 8 monsters here in a row or whatever.
Yeah, we at least have 9, right? I mean, possibly including Bruno.
Yes, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And so he starts commanding the monsters, and they obey. They just kind of like he tells them what to do, and they're doing it. Then we get it sort of cuts into sort of another montage.
The monsters killing people?
Yeah, they're just terrorizing random people for no particular reason, I guess just to kind of like amp up the tension and, put some more scary scenes in the middle of the movie.
Right. By the way, we start off with the Wolfman approaching a horse, and it's like, oh, he's going to attack the horse. He kind of looks back at the camera and spikes the camera. And it's like, oh, is he gonna eat the horse, or is he gonna make love to the horse? What's he doing? But no, he doesn't care about the horse. He goes inside to the people, and he, in order, kills Dad, then Mom, otherwise known as Lupe. And you think the kid's gonna get scot-free? No. See, you're not counting. This is a Mexican movie. That kid is dead. We don't see the kid, but it's inferred heavily that the kid is eaten by the Wolfman.
Oh yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Then we see there's like a man who's like working with nets. Are these supposed to be like fishing nets?
Yeah, it's a fisherman.
Okay, yeah. I was kind of like he's like hanging them vertically like from trees or something. Like I guess drying them out or something.
Yeah.
And then the Cyclops shows up because it's the sort of aquatic related situation.
I guess. Sure.
And so he attacks the fisherman, and then we cut to the police and Santo, and they're looking at the crime scene of like the fisherman. But I don't think do we ever see any more reference to the family that were killed by the wolfman?
No, nope. they were forgotten. But turns out that the Cyclops is kind of related to, I think, either horses or camels, because he's plantigrade. Or they literally talk about the footprints being plantigrade.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is an interesting detail. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if that's supposed to be like sort of Minotaur related.
Kind of, yeah.
I don't know. And it's to describe I don't know how you would exactly describe this Cyclops. He's got like big pointy ear kind of things. He almost, like, you mentioned Baragon. It's not too different from like the shape of Baragon's head, but he's just got like the one big eye in the middle of the head instead of like the horn.
Right.
But yeah, so they're looking at the crime scene, and then we cut to a young couple who are like, making out in a field.
Yeah, they're having a little picnic.
Yeah, this is like the sort of like slasher movie kind of scene, like, but it also feels like, they're in a field. It feels a little bit like it might be nodding to like Maria in the, the field by the pond.
Right.
Because of course Frankenstein shows up.
Yeah.
And he, attacks them, ends up like crushing the guy's head.
That was pretty, like, the fight with the poor guy just got beat the crap up. Like, there's a point where the actual actor, well, the Frankenstein actor, grabs the victim actor and just, like, punches him in the head. I think he actually punches him in the head. But yeah, then as you said, he basically walks up and just, like, crushes the head of the victim.
And then, like, carries the girl away.
Right. But at this point, he's already choked her, so she's dead, too.
Yeah.
He's cleaning up the girl, the evidence that he killed the girl, and just leaving the pile of, well, the squished head for everyone else to find.
Meanwhile, we see another girl who is walking down the road, and there is a flappy bat approaching from behind her.
We know what that means.
Yep. So then he turns into the vampire with his arms outstretched, and bites her neck.
There's our first. I think this is supposed to be Sonia, as she's credited, by the way. Yeah. So this would be a Sonia.
Yeah, and then we cut back to, at the crime scene, Santo swims down into an underwater cave.
For no reason. Like, why was he underwater? He just decided to go underwater in a cave. Well, it's a good thing he did, though, because that's also where, well, the Cyclops is hiding, it looks like, basically on the bank of a river with, like, some reeds, but he's also underwater at the same time because there's bubbles.
Yeah, like, because at first I thought it was, sometimes you'll have that thing where you swim through an underwater cavern and then you get into, the above water part of the cavern that you can only get to through the water.
Nope.
I thought that's kind of what they were going for, but no, yeah, it's...
Yep. It's like they put a fish tank in front of a guy in front of the Cyclops on the riverbank.
Yeah. But so, yep, then we got Santo and the Cyclops. They're fighting. Mm-hmm. Santo ends up, staking the Cyclops, which, that's the vampire thing. But, know, I mean, if you stake a person, it'll work too. So I guess you can stake a Cyclops through the heart.
By the way, I don't want to spoil too much, but that's how you kill a monster in this movie. Just any monster, doesn't matter. By the way, the vampire was out in the middle of the day, so that rule is out.
Yeah.
Like, sunlight and garlic, don't count it. Steaks, they're good for killing everything. I mean, it makes sense, right?
Well, and then they do mention later, they say something about that, that monsters are only coming out at night. So
even though it's the middle of the day.
It's definitely the day. So
right.
I don't know if they're just... They think that we're going to assume that was night, but it is very, very well lit. It is not like...
Yeah.
It's not even like, they do the day for night thing where you can shoot with the right kind of lens and make daytime look like night.
This is day for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then we go back to Bruno's lab, and he's just performing surgery on the Cyclops.
We gotta fix the Cyclops quick. We gotta transfer his brain. No, I'm kidding. That would be where I would go if that was my shtick. But turns out that stake that did a number on the Cyclops. Our first monster is down, guys.
Yeah. And so he's like, tonight, Santo and my family will pay.
But can we also talk about how once he's done with the Cyclops, instead of trying to I guess if he tried to duplicate it, he would just duplicate a dead Cyclops. But he was like, take it to the monster decompressor. What is that? It decompresses the monsters?
Yeah. That's some science for you.
Yep, by the way, there's another thing that's going to come up. The tracker, we'll get to that, but that has a very sketchy name as well. But yeah, as you said, Bruno swears vengeance for the death of the Cyclops. And then all the monsters go out. We first see the Wolfman approaching the window, as all good monsters do. And then we see Otto, or Goodhalder, as I call them, at his desk. So it's like, oh, it's going to be the Wolfman. Well, it turns out, no, it's not just the Wolfman. It's the evil version of Blue Demon, Frankenstein, the Mummy. They're all here to get this one guy. They're all here except for the vampire.
Yeah, and he shows up upstairs and literally just appears.
Right.
He doesn't fly in the window. He's just teleports into her room somehow.
Yeah. By the way, he goes to Gloria's room because the vampire. I was almost just going to call him Vampiro. Anyway, he just he likes his ladies, is what he does, and that's pretty much his preferred victim.
So yeah, he's going creeping up on her. She wakes up and screams, and then we kind of have a lot of back and forth where we've got all the other monsters break in downstairs. They're attacking while she's trying to fight off the vampire upstairs. Yeah. And even though she's the one that screams, Santo comes running into the study, right? Which works out because there's a lot more monsters down there to fight. So, like, there's just, like, a whole big kind of throwdown in there where, like...
Yeah, it's a brawl.
Yeah. This is, like, it's not an actual wrestling match, but it basically is a wrestling match.
Right. It's basically 6 guys versus 1, and because he's Santo the Saint, he's able to defend them all off. Doesn't really win, but he does hold them off. That is until the ray gun comes out.
Yeah. Yeah, and he just starts, like... So he has a ray gun that he starts shooting the monsters. They end up retreating at that point.
Right.
Meanwhile, upstairs, Gloria gets taken outside, right?
Yeah, by the vampire.
The vampire drags her outside. But then I guess there is a graveyard in their yard at their house. And there's a cross-shaped tombstone in the yard, and that scares the vampire away.
Yep. That's it. That's all it takes. But I guess that makes sense.
And then evil blue demon hears telepathically, he hears the voice of Bruno saying, "Run, the sun is rising."
Right. Even though it's clearly day the whole time. Like, the only shots at night are the cars. And not even the car chases, just the cars.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, as far as we know, only vampires should be, you know, affected by the sunlight. But in this, all of the monsters have to get home before the sun rises.
Right, including evil blue demon, yep. But, but they have a great idea. If they can't just, like, kill Santo this way, you know what we need to do? We need to have a wrestling match to the death.
Yeah. So we cut to Santo, and he's talking to, like, his promoter, and he's like, we got this challenge, and, you know, they're basically like, if you don't accept this challenge,
you're a coward.
They're definitely, like, playing up to sort of, like, you know, the
machismo.
The need to, and it's just like, you have to take this challenge, or you won't ever live it down.
Right. You'll be dishonored
so he's like,
forever.
All right. Yeah. So he agrees to the challenge.
Now, of course, you would think, oh, this will be the big showdown between the evil version of Blue Demon and Santo. Oh, no. They know the right guy for the job, and that's the vampire, baby. He's kind of buff. They show him, like, with his shirt off and full makeup. He's kind of buff. Good for him.
Yeah. And they, like, put him in, like, a black lucha mask.
Yeah, because he can't obviously be a vampire, even though Santo knows there's a vampire, and he goes by the name El Vampiro.
And so then we actually get to the ring, and Santo's there waiting, and the announcer announces them and, calls him El Vampiro. Mm-hmm. So then we just get a full-on wrestling match, but we also get, like, a lot of scenes where they just cut to, like, Bruno wearing sunglasses as a disguise,
looking
just
smarmy.
Sitting in the crowd watching.
Yeah, he's like, I've won this time.
And this wrestling match goes on for 5 full minutes.
It is a full match. Like, this movie does not skimp on the matches. Like, a good third of the movie is wrestling matches, which, I mean, that's kind of what you're there for anyway, right?
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
So it's near the end of the match, the vampire tries to just, like, bite Santo.
I mean, come on, he's got to end this somehow, right?
Yeah. But Gloria kind of runs up towards the ring, and she's wearing a cross necklace, so that scares the vampire away.
That's all it takes. Well, turns out now it's time for chaos, because all of the monsters descend on the ring when they couldn't beat Santo before. That was the time. But so we have general chaos, and apparently looks like this is when the other luchadors, even though they're not credited or really named, join in and help Santo defend himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is really cool. Like, it feels like...
It's like a wrestling match.
Yeah, in real wrestling, you have those moments where, like, the heel brings in some people that he's not supposed to, and then, like, a bunch of other, heroes kind of run in and, But yeah, so we've got... The vampire actually turns into the Flappy Bat, and he goes away. But yeah, you got Blue Demon, all the other monsters, they're all in the ring. A bunch of all the other wrestlers show up, and it's a wrestling match. Like, it's like a battle royale, basically, and they're... they're all fighting, and it's a really fun thing, like just fun to kind of like I rewound it a couple times because you could just like watch one corner and like what's going on there. It's just like everybody, the monsters are definitely just wrestlers too. So it's it's just a wrestling match, and we also cut to scenes of the audience who are panicking and they're like trying to like evacuate the theater.
Right, as some mysterious person, Bruno, cuts the lights. They only show his hands. It's like, come on. Yeah. There's one guy wearing that suit with those gloves. We know who it is. Why are you being coy in this one instance? But So we do have a wrestling match between all of the monsters and all the luchadors. But we also have Gloria and Otto trying to run away from the scene in the chaos.
Yeah. And then, once the lights shut off, we just, like, cut to all of the, like, Blue Demon and the monsters walking. I think this is the exact same scene from the beginning, right? Like, this is...
Yep. Mm-hmm. But also, we do have random cop cars driving around. It looks like an old Western town, not what I assume is Mexico City. So...
Yeah. They probably just had the set and were like, well, yeah, it works.
Or they had the footage.
Yeah. That's probably more accurate.
Yep. Yeah, but this is our third time, I think, either the second or third time that we get the monsters all walking. Yeah, this is the third time the monsters all walk out onto the grass with the smoke.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then we cut to the vampire attacking another woman.
We'll eventually learn. Well, we won't ever learn her name because they only say it in the credits, but I'm assuming this is Fabiola.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, it's a quick little scene, and then we cut to the newspaper again, which, they love using for exposition, and it just says, dancer vanishes.
Yep. So we know what happened to the dancer. And it's good that we don't linger on that too long, because we immediately go back to the vampire in his casket, waking up for the morning, Mm-hmm. And wait, there's these two other caskets. I wonder who or what is in those. Turns out we've got a brand new Fabiola. By the way, okay, well done, Fabiola. And then also we get Sonia, who's a little bit more modestly dressed.
Yeah, they're both in like some sort of lingerie, but one of them is a little bit more, full coverage kind of thing. The other one basically is kind of like basically a bikini sort of thing, like
micro bikini or whatever those. Yeah.
Yeah. So then one of the two women turns into the Flappy Bat and, goes away. And
Fabiola,
then, she ends up out at the car.
Yeah. Hey, Anthony, if you were to, let's say, find a random woman in your car in the middle of the day or night, whatever time the camera decides it is, would you just be like, hey, let me drive you home? Because I would have questions.
Yeah.
Not Santo, though. No. Santo's like, I'll take you home, girl, even though I'm dating Gloria.
Yeah, so he drives her home.
Drives her out to the woods.
Yeah.
They don't quite make it home.
Yeah, so she tries to, like, it's like one of those deals where, like, it looks like she's going to try to kiss him, and then she tries to, like, attack him.
Mm-hmm. But wait, she's not by herself. Because Santo gets attacked by all the monsters again.
Yeah, all the monsters show up, they attack, and we again have Santo fighting the Wolfman, Cyclops, Mummy, Vampire,
by the way,
Frankenstein.
He's dead! How did he come back? Cyclops is dead. We said that before. He's back. What? This movie makes
I guess that decompressor thing.
Oh, that's how it revived him. It decompressed. He needed to have his disk drive defragmented. Okay, I get it now. These are all digital monsters. Digimon. Anyway.
So then, like, Santo kind of like, he's Santo, but he is way outnumbered. So he kind of fights him a little bit, then jumps in the car, speeds away. Mm-hmm. And then he, like, goes back to Otto and Gloria. And, Otto's like, not even the rays of the electronic gun could stop them.
Right.
So they're like, okay, well, we know they have to, sleep in the daytime, and then they go out at night. So we should sleep during the day too.
Yeah, let's go to dinner.
We'll go to we'll go to crowded places at night.
Right.
Which, like, we know that a bunch of monsters are trying to kill us. So what we should do is go to places where there are a lot of other people who will get injured by the attacking monsters.
I mean, that just makes sense. That defends. You're helping yourself out. You got a lot of witnesses.
So they cut to like a dance club that I think is called Maxim.
Right. It's basically Copacabana.
Yeah, it's like they're sitting down eating dinner, and there's just like dancers who are, performing for them basically. Mm-hmm. And they have a full dance scene. And this is, again, like another, like, I think this one's like 4 minutes long.
Yeah, but you go through the whole performance.
Yeah. Oh, then this is where we get the third thing. The monsters come out again.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, this is the
they climb the hill ominously, one by one again, and then they arrive at the club.
But
Blue Demon shows up.
Demon, unceremonious. This man is not one to mince words or like have ceremony, because he just runs into the restaurant, runs up to Santo, and just starts fighting. He's not like, I'm here to fight you, Santo. No, he's just like, here we go. Let's do this thing.
Yeah. And they like immediately just wreck the place.
Yep.
Like, it's just the two of them, and then the other monsters start showing up. But like before the monsters even get there, I mean, they have destroyed like everything in the place basically.
Oh, by the way, did you? I'm sorry to backtrack us once again. But by the way, after all the monsters did their thing where they reappeared, did you notice Gloria literally says, "When will this end?" She actually says that. It's like, I don't know if that was an intentional joke or what that was, but I see you, Gloria. I get you.
So once the monsters do show up, then like everybody in the restaurant, like, they all run in terror, screaming, leave the restaurant. Yep. And then we get, a classic wrestling move, which is that, Santo gets hit with a chair and knocked down. This isn't like our aluminum folding chairs that we're used to. It's just a, regular chair at the restaurant, but it just gets, crumbles on his back, basically.
That was before we had perfected the art of the folding chair.
Yeah. And then Otto and Gloria have, like, run up to, I guess, the rooftop of the restaurant?
Yeah, because that's what you do. Instead of running out, you run up in a horror movie.
It's the girl in the slasher movie who goes upstairs thing.
Except
but like, they're on a rooftop. There's nowhere to go. Mm-hmm. So a bunch of monsters get up on the roof and they are trying to like carry them away. But Santo shows up again.
Yeah, I do like how literally all the monsters just let Santo. Well, I think they actually do knock him down and knock him out before running off. But it's like, no, we're not. Don't finish Santo. Just run off. We're gonna get Gloria and Otto here. We got them.
So Santo starts fighting the monsters again, and somewhere in the middle of the fight, he very sneakily puts a little tracking device on Frankenstein's neck.
It looks like a button.
It's huge.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, I guess he has something jabbed in the side of his neck anyway, the bolts. And he's not paying attention to anything extra there. Somehow Santo knew that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get another brawl scene, basically. And this one has a little bit of a more interesting ending in that the mummy rushes Santo. Santo like falls back onto his back and basically rolls the mummy off the roof and presumably killing him, because that's the last we see of the mummy.
Yeah. And so then we cut back to the lab again. Bruno is giving his like supervillain speech to Otto and Gloria, who are captured. They have like the helmet things on and like the little revival tube things. Mm-hmm.
But instead of reviving them, he's going to disintegrate them. This is a multi-use tool.
Yeah. But, thankfully, Santo did put that tracker on, so he's finally able to locate Bruno's secret hideout, which is a massive castle.
Yeah.
But it's somehow secret.
Right. And of course, at this time, our good friend Waldo discovers, wait, there's this thing on the side of Frankenstein's neck. It looks like a button, but turns out Bruno knows what that is. That's an electric vibrator. What? I don't think you know what those words mean. Yeah. I've seen some vibrators. No, I'm kidding. They don't look like that.
Yeah, that's a little too small to get much power out of it. But, but yeah, I guess it's supposed to be like that. It's like sending a vibrating signal. But yeah, it's.
They were so innocent back then. All right. Anyway. But yeah, so it turns out that they now know that Santo is actually still alive, and he's there.
Yeah. So they send some of the monsters out to try to find, because they're automatically like, okay, he's gonna find us, so let's
get him first.
Patrol the castle / caverns and track him down. Then we end up Santo finally he gets to the room with good blue demon in it looks like a tanning bed basically.
Yeah, effectively
the
that's what it
duplication
is.
chamber.
Yeah, and but he's there for only a few moments when evil blue demon jumps out and attacks him. Once again, without ceremony, just jumps out at him.
Yeah. So then there's another fight. They break a lot of lab equipment in the process.
Yeah, they're like, all right, we're done with the movie. Destroy the set. However you want to do that, do that.
Yeah.
Hit something. We have sparks. We'll do that. Whatever. But of course, at this point, we still have Bruno monologuing, and he wants to finally find out whose kung fu is stronger. I mean, whose science is stronger, his or Otto's. He literally says that.
Yeah.
We'll find out whose science is better, brother.
And then we go back to Santo and Blue Demon, who have somehow rolled outside. Yeah, they're just outside now.
Right.
And
Santo
manages...
Santo somehow has a ball and chain or a flail. It fluctuates between being smooth and having spikes.
Yeah. Yep. He ends up throwing Blue Demon off a cliff.
Oh, no.
And then, runs in to wake up good Blue Demon.
Wait. Does he throw Blue Demon off the cliff or the ragdoll that Blue Demon turns into off the cliff? Because, yeah.
Yeah, the nice thing about that lucha mask is, it kind of covers up the dummy.
But it definitely doesn't cover up the cud. You just see immediately, he's like picking the actual actor up, and then all of a sudden, not the actor, this is the dummy, and then he throws the dummy. I mean, of course, what are you going to do? But still, it's a fun little notice. All right. Yeah, but he wakes up good, Blue Demon.
Mm-hmm. And so then now we've got Santo and Blue Demon back together again. Santo's got the mace. Blue Demon has a torch, right?
Well, he gets the torch while he's fighting the criminal monsters, which they appear right now.
Yeah. So they're fighting all the zombie criminals or whatever. Santo manages to knock one of their heads off with the mace.
Right, and that's when they learn, oh, this is real, this is serious, because then they stop fighting and they're like, they killed our friend. It's like, really, guys? I mean, you kind of signed up for at least murder. You should have known it was going to come your way as well. But no, that's what stops these guys.
Yeah, so while they're kind of like checking on their very dead friend, Santo and Blue Demon get away, and they get to the lab. So now we've got every character in the movie basically in the lab, and they're all fighting. First they're just fighting the monsters, and then Santo realizes the trick here is not to get distracted by the monsters. We've got to start destroying the machine.
Exactly. He can't do science if he ain't got science machines.
Right.
Yep. So Blue Demon's kind of fending off the monsters while he's just wrecking house. Just destroying props left and right.
And it's like everyone, like, he hits it and then, like, it explodes.
Right.
Like, they have just, like, a little fireworks charge in each one.
Yep, it's so good. But, of course, like, Bruno and Waldo, they know we can't fight. We can't fight Santo. So they're doing a nice little cuddle huddle in the corner while all this is going down.
Yeah, and so then like the everything on the lab is on fire basically. So they all of our heroes go running out, and on their way out they happen upon the vampires' coffins, all three of them.
Yep.
And
Santo and Blue Demon ain't one to leave a job finished. Or half finished, I should say.
Yeah, but weren't the vampires all just in the other room fighting just a minute?
Yeah. Well, no, they do run off at the end. They do run off. But
so they they open the coffins, they stake all three vampires.
Because this is Mexico. If you stake it doesn't work the way if you just kill the head vampire, the rest are saved. Nope, they all got to go.
Yeah. Yep, so they stake these, two innocent women who were turned into vampires against their will.
Listen, yeah, I mean, they were going to be vampires. It's fine. Just gloss over that. Right. But I do love the face that the vampire has whenever they stake him. Like, he's like both shocked and very sad about it at the same time. If you can imagine that. Like,
he's got some good faces.
He's got some good faces. But after they stake the vampires, it turns out the whole castle is now aflame.
Yeah, so they run outside, and now this feels very much like a Universal movie at the end, where it's just like all the heroes standing on a hillside watching a castle burn.
Yeah, it's either that or a Castlevania, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And abrupt ending, basically, more or less.
Yeah, more or less. But yeah, it was just so much fun. Like it's like we've been talking about with the past couple movies, like when you have like a group of people who are really enjoying what they're doing, it's just sort of infectious. You just have fun watching it.
Yeah.
And it feels, you look at these and you're like, this series of movies is like, dozens and dozens of movies long. Like it feels like it would just be like a cynical kind of cash grab thing.
No.
And
so much love.
Maybe some people on the production maybe were, but I don't know. Everybody that is in front of the camera and everybody who's kind of like directing the action and stuff seem to be having a blast. And it really, you see it, you feel that. And yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of fun.
Right. Yeah. It's it's so interesting. The juxtaposition of the monsters and Mexican wrestling. Mm-hmm. It's like such a wild combination, but it goes so well together. Better than you would think.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like these movies are probably, to some degree at least, aimed at children.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a cartoonish quality to these in a way. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't feel as dumb as sometimes entertainment aimed directly at kids can feel.
Yeah.
Like if you go back and watch some of the cartoons you loved as a kid, some of them hold up. There are some that I'm still like pretty, still really like, but there are some things that just don't. That they're just like, oh, this is definitely just a commercial for toys, and like they didn't put any work into this. But like that's not what's going on here. Like this is, adults are going to enjoy this as well. Like if kids like monsters and kids like wrestling, we'll combine it and we'll make a kind of a wacky.
But we'll definitely throw in some TNA and violence for the adults.
Oh yeah. Yep. So we're doing 3 of these for our purposes here on the show, but
there's
like
so
I feel
many
like
more.
I'm probably going to be tracking some more of these down just for my own personal enjoyment after we finish that.
Yeah, I mean we have several run-ins with mummies as well as vampires and mafia, because you got to do that too. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of an exciting little rabbit hole we've gone down.
Yeah.
All right. I'm definitely excited to see more.
Yeah, so of course next week we will be doing Santo versus Frankenstein's daughter.
She had a daughter.
El hija de Frankenstein.
Yeah. Hija de Frankenstein.
Yeah, so in this movie, Frankenstein is just referring to the monster. I feel like in this next one, Frankenstein's daughter is going to be the daughter of the mad scientist Frankenstein, but I don't know. Maybe there's a Bride of Frankenstein like lady creature. I have no idea.
I mean, listen, this is the Mexican version, so ¿por qué no los dos?
Yeah. I mean, I'm on board either way, or definitely if it's both.
Yep. That would be amazing. All right, so you all know where you can find us. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, well, YouTube at least, at The Frankencast. So any place, any social, try at The Frankencast. Will probably be there, even at Gmail.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And obviously also, we appreciate rates and reviews on your podcast platform of choice. Yep. Those help out immensely.
That tells the evil monster that rules us, known as the algorithm, that we're worth your time. And we appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yes. I think that covers it for this week, so we will be back with more Santo action next week.
Muy bien. And continuará.
Looks like you survived another episode. The Frankencast is a production of FCR Media. It's hosted by Anthony Bowman and Eric Velazquez. Follow us on Twitter at The Frankencast, or send us a letter at thefrankencast@gmail.com. Our cover art is by Amanda Keller. You can find her at Keller Illustrations on Instagram. Our theme music is by